The following KQED production was produced in high definition.
Closed captioning of this program is made possible by support from the Fireman's Fund Foundation.
The caucuses and the candidates, the leaders and the losers, the results from Iowa. How a court ruling on a health care plan in San Francisco could impact health care for the whole state. Some new laws for the new year. And the Academy of Sciences begins its massive move back to Golden Gate Park. Those stories next. Good evening and welcome to This Week in Northern California. I'm Belva Davis, and joining me in the studio to discuss some of the top stories in the news this week are Carla Marinucci, political writer for the San Francisco Chronicle; Bobby Egelko, staff writer, also with the Chronicle; Tamara Keith, reporter for KQED Public Radio News; and Paul Rogers, environment writer for the San Jose Mercury News and managing editor of KQED's Quest series. It's been months of heavy campaigning and much speculation. The latest Iowa caucuses in history concluded on Thursday. There were some surprise winners to emerge from the crowded presidential pack. Campaigning has already moved on to New Hampshire for next Tuesday's primary. Carla Marinucci, you were in Iowa.
That's
there
right.
In person. Tell us, what are some of your observations?
Well, I mean, we saw so many Californians back there in Iowa campaigning for these candidates. San Francisco District Attorney Kamala Harris working till New Year's Eve practically, calling the phones, getting out there. I saw her last night. She was celebrating along with all the other Barack Obama supporters, and what a victory he had. I mean, women were for Obama. That hurt Hillary Clinton big time. Union members were for Obama. That was John Edwards' camp. You had the young who came out in droves to these caucuses. We actually attended one of them. You could see the Obama wave happening at the caucuses. College students streaming in the door, registering at the last minute. It was amazing to see. And independents were there registering Democratic. That is exactly why I think Obama ended up with such a big margin of victory. I think I went to his events all around Iowa. We covered all the candidates there. He turned out so many people, and I think people just, this change issue is what it is all about. It's also about that populist theme, somebody who can connect with the average voter, and we heard that time and time again around this state, and it was quite an accomplishment, I think, for Obama. People said an African-American man could not win in a state 94% white. It could be suggested that maybe this is really a seminal moment in American politics. We've crossed a very important
Let me steal
divide.
an Obama word for a moment. I want to change something I said in the lead-in. It was the earliest caucus in Iowa history, not the latest.
That's right. We were spending New Year's Eve with
Right.
Mike Huckabee. I mean, that's how early it was.
Carla, we have the New Hampshire primary is on Tuesday, and Obama has the momentum, he had the excitement, he has the independent voters. 44% of voters in Iowa are independents. They have same-day registration in, I'm sorry, 44% of New Hampshire voters are independents. Same-day registration in New Hampshire, just like Iowa. How does Hillary Clinton possibly come back in 4 days when the person who's going to apparently pick up more momentum is him, and this is a state where it's set up even better than Iowa?
Yeah, you know, Paul, this is a challenge for them, and I was on the phone today at a conference call with Terry McAuliffe, the chairman of Hillary Clinton's campaign, and Antonio Villaraigosa, the mayor of Los Angeles, who did a lot of work for Clinton out there in Iowa. They're saying, look, we always knew Iowa was the toughest state for Hillary Clinton. She wasn't even going to caucus there to campaign in those caucuses originally. She decided to in the end. But they're saying, New Hampshire, we've got it together. We've got the organization on the ground. Her message is much more likely to resonate.
She's tied in the polls with him right now, and
yes.
that's before the win. I mean, all she can do is attack him or lose, it seems to me.
I think it's a big challenge for her. But on the other hand, I went out and saw her also on the campaign trail, and she has greatly improved her stump speech. She is really on the mark in terms of a lot of issues out there. I think for a lot of voters, though, it was the idea, the ones I talked to in Iowa said, the prospect of 8 more years of Republicans and Democrats going at each other, hammer and tongs, they just didn't want that anymore. They want to turn the page. And that is something I think Hillary's going to have to deal with in New Hampshire. And I think this has implications for California coming up, too, on the Republican side as well, we should mention.
Hasn't she made herself available, though, for more personal interviews with reporters to try to break down for what at least political reporters are calling some barrier that they see that she puts up?
I was pretty
Can
impressed.
that make a difference?
I think it can. You know, I would not count her out. I watched her go to these events in Iowa and stay and shake every last hand and take every last picture. Exhausting process. I don't know how these candidates did it. Obama did not have that kind of sort of one-on-one thing, but I tell you, Hillary was out there just really working it, and it's got to be disappointing to them to come in third. I think going forward, New Hampshire and California, she does have a double-digit lead in California. She does have a huge ground organization, but maybe that's not enough with this Obama wave. Right now, we've got such a short period between Iowa and New Hampshire.
South Carolina, 50% of the voters are black. And
Yes,
that's coming up
yes,
in
yes. And by the way, I was at the Obama victory celebration last night in Des Moines to watch the crowd and the makeup of the crowd. African American women, huge numbers, bringing out their grandkids and their kids. High school kids who are just registering. This is a very big change, and I think in California, if that same trend holds, it'll be really interesting to watch.
So are we relevant?
Yes, I think absolutely we are relevant now. I mean, depending on what happens here, I think there's going to be shakeup, especially on the Republican side. I don't think Mike Huckabee, as personable, as homey, as, you know, I saw the guy play guitar 900 times in different venues. He really connects with people. Whether that flies in New Hampshire, I'm not sure it does. There's not nearly as many Christian evangelicals there. You know, I was mentioning that there at his headquarters, it was little homeschool kids who were manning the phones. He really managed to fire them up. That's not going to play in New Hampshire, and it probably won't play as well in California. And that's where John McCain, I think, can come in and really do something here.
What, maybe apart from, you know, the way they campaign and their energy and all that, what did we maybe learn about the candidates, their fitness to be president, or their character that might be educational for California voters?
I think we've learned that the voters right now are really speaking with a big voice and saying enough of the Bush administration on both sides, because Huckabee is not exactly a traditional Republican either. On both sides, they're saying they want change and away from the traditional party politics.
Polly, we're out of time, but we can't skip the #2 winner on the Democratic side and not mention his name.
John Edwards. I watched him. He campaigned 36 hours. He has worked his heart out in Iowa for 4 years. That's why I think this is a very big blow to him to come in second. And who knows where he goes from here. He doesn't have the money, I think, or the organization, and certainly not in California. So I think he's on the ropes.
Okay. Carla,
Thank
just
you.
back, just hitting the ground from Iowa. Thank you.
Thank you.